Hey guys, we are now on Module 5, Lesson 32, and we are going to be subtracting a fraction from a mixed number. It's a little funny, I'm actually in the staff bathroom recording this video, so I feel a little weird, but it's okay because I'm going to make a great video still. Alright, here we go. So starting off with something very simple. If I were to say to you guys, let's start with 3 oranges, 2 apples, and I'd like you to take 1 apple away. Well, what would you say the answer was? And by the way, you don't have to write this down unless you'd like to, these first 3 slides. Well, if you look, we have oranges, apples, apples. So we have 3 oranges, 2 apples, but we're taking 1 apple away. So we have to look at the thing that has the same units. I have 3 oranges. Am I taking any oranges away over here? No, I'm not taking any oranges away. So my oranges are going to stay the same. So I'm going to have 3 oranges. But I have 2 apples and I am taking 1 apple away, which is going to leave me with 1 apple. Okay, seems simple, but this is just like fractions. So let's do another simple thing related to something that we know. If I have 3 dogs, 2 puppies, and I take 1 puppy away, how many am I going to have left? Well, I have 3 dogs, no dogs over here. I'm not taking any dogs away, so I'm still left with the 3 dogs. My dogs didn't get taken away. Sorry, that's a terrible D. But puppies, puppy. I took 1 puppy away from my 2, so I'm left with 1 puppy. Well, let's relate it to numbers now. What if I had 3 ones, 2 fifths, and I want to take 1/5 away? So again, I have my ones. I'm not taking any ones away, but I do have my fifths and fifths. So what would that look like if I actually wrote it down with numbers instead of in unit form? Well, look down here. 3 ones, 2 fifths, minus my 1/5. So I have 3 ones, or 3 wholes as we like to say. Well, look right here. Are there any wholes I'm taking away? I'm not. Just like the 3 oranges or the 3 dogs. I'm not taking any dogs, I'm not taking any oranges away, so I'm still left with them. Then I have my fifths and my fifths. I have 2 fifths. I'm taking away 1/5. 2, take away 1 is 5. Remember again, we won't be changing denominators in this lesson, but you have to pay very close attention to make sure that these denominators are the same. If they are the same, we can go ahead and subtract. If they're not the same, we have to get same denominators. So that one was pretty easy. All right, so let's go ahead and apply this. What if I had 3, grab my pen here, 3 and 4 fifths, and I wanted to take away 3 fifths. Couple things you want to notice before you get started. Notice your wholes. 3 wholes, I'm not taking away any wholes over on the other side of the subtraction side. Then I have 4 fifths minus 3 fifths. The first thing I look at is that, do they have the same denominator? Yes, they have same denominator. So now I can just focus on the numerators. And I know that I can just focus on the top. And 4 take away 3. So I say to myself, if I have 4 things, can I take away 3 of them? Well, yes, I can. So I can just go ahead and subtract. I don't really have to do much work for this. 3 ones take away no ones, 0 ones is still 3 ones. And then 4 fifths take away 3 fifths is 1/5. Okay, that one was pretty simple. Of course, I'm gonna bump it up a notch and give you a harder one. What if I had 2 and 1/12 minus 7/12? Okay, first thing I notice, I have the same denominator, same units, so I can go ahead and look at my whole numbers. I have 2, take away no whole numbers. Okay, I'm good there. But then look at my numerators. 1 take away 7. If I have 1 puppy, can I take 7 away? Well, definitely not. So that doesn't work out. I can still do the subtraction problem because 2 and 1/12 is way more than 7/12. So I can still subtract 7/12 from this, but I'm going to have to do a little work. So I don't usually like to use this word, but basically what I'm doing is I'm going to borrow from my 2 wholes. So I'm going to go ahead and do a number bond here. And I'm going to take 1 whole away from that 2 and make it 1 whole and 12 twelfths. Okay, isn't 1 plus 1 2? 12 twelfths is equal to a whole. So 1 and 12 twelfths is still equal to 2 wholes, or 2 ones. And then I have my 1/12 remaining. So what can I turn this into? Well, I know that if I add these two together, I can get a new fraction. So I'm going to turn this into 1 and 13, because 12 plus 1 equals 13. 1 and 13 twelfths. And then I'm going to bring that 7 twelfths down. Subtract 7 twelfths. And go ahead and solve it right down here. So now I can say, well, a whole minus, well, there's none here, so I still have my one, or 1 whole. And then I can do 13 take away 7. Because, again, my denominators are still the same. So go ahead and do 13 take away 7. Hopefully you got 6. And your denominator stays 12. 1 and 6 twelfths. Go up, put that on our answer line, and we're good to go. Oh, by the way, something just rang a bell in my head. It's not asking us to do it in this lesson, but it's pretty cool to note that 1 and 6 twelfths, think 6 is half a 12th, is also the same as 1 and a half. So just be thinking of that when you see numbers, if you can simplify them even more. All right, let's try another one. 3 and 1/5 minus 3/5. All right, I'm noticing that I have same units. I have fifths. I'm noticing that I have a whole number and no whole number on the other side on my subtrahend. But I'm noticing that I need to do 1/5 take away 3/5. That is not possible, so I'm going to have to take 1 from my whole. So my 3 is going to become 2 and 5/5. Bring down that 1/5. Add those together. Remember, 3 wholes is the same as 2 and 5/5 because 5/5 is equal to 1 and 2 plus 1 equals 3. I'm going to squish those together. Oops. 5 plus 1 equals 6/5. And remember, I'm bringing this down and subtracting 3/5. Hey, now I can do 6 take away 3. Go ahead and start with your whole, oops. Go ahead and start with your ones. 2 ones minus 0 ones is still 2 ones. 6/5 minus 3/5 is 3/5. So my answer equals 2 and 3/5. Okay, moving on. This is the last one we're going to do. I'm going to write it, and then I want you guys to pause it. Go ahead and solve it on your own, and then you may push play to check your work. 12 and 1/4 minus 3/4 equals. All right, I'm noticing that my denominators are the same. I have 12 ones, and I'm noticing that I can't take 3 from 1. So remember, we're going to have to do a number bond to break this up and take a whole from my 12. So I'd like you guys to go ahead and push pause now, solve it on your own, and then push play again to see if you got it right. Go ahead. Okay guys, hopefully you solved this on your own. Let's go ahead and check your work. I'm going to turn my 12, I'm going to drop it down 1 to 11 and 4/4. And then I have that 1/4. If I add those together, I'm going to get 11 and 5/4. Go ahead and subtract my 3/4 now. Now I can do it. I'm left with 11 ones and 2/4, which I'm noticing right away that that's also equal to a half. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify that to 11 and a half. All right, guys, on your problem set, it is going to ask you to use a number line. It might ask you to use the arrow way. I did not teach you those strategies today. You do not have to do those on the problem set or your homework or the exit ticket. This is probably the most efficient strategy. It's the quickest way. It's the most fluent way to subtract fractions from a mixed number. So you do not have to do the number line or arrow way. Okay, good luck.